Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating this look on my lovely friend Yeka here, and if you'd like to see how to get this look, please continue watching. So I've already gone ahead and moisturized her skin, and at this stage we're priming her face first with the Benefit Porefessional, which I'm applying just to the center of her face where she had larger pores. And then for the rest of her face, I'm using the Smashbox face primer and applying it all over. This will help in prolonging the wear of the foundation, but will also create a barrier between her skin and the foundation. It'll also help in having the foundation go on really smoothly over her skin. Next, I'm priming her eyelids with the NARS eye primer and then gently buffing it away and blending it with my ring finger. I'm then just going to do some color correcting. For some reason I didn't find my orange corrector that day, so here we're using a peach corrector. This is by MAC. It's the Prep and Prime highlighter, and I'm going over any areas which show some discoloration on her skin. So primarily that's around Yeka's mouth and a little bit on her nose and under her eyes, and also around the perimeter of her face. I'm just going to blend this out with a damp beauty blender sponge. On to foundation. Here I'm using Yeka's foundation. It's the Covergirl Stay Fabulous foundation. I'm just applying it all over her skin, and since Yeka has such great skin to begin with, I'm applying a very thin layer and really buffing it into the skin so it looks very natural. Here I'm also bringing the foundation down her neck just so everything looks even, because women of color typically have discoloration on their neck as well, so I'm just dragging the foundation down her neck. This will look great in photography. To highlight Yeka's face, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn, and I'm applying this just under her eyes in that V shape, and then applying it also on the bridge of her nose, the chin, the forehead, and also on the Cupid's bow. So this will act as a matte highlight. We don't want any shimmer, especially in the center of her face at this stage. Here I'm just blending everything away with a beauty blender sponge. I have no idea why I tried blending with that small one. Here I'm also using the highlighter for some reverse contouring under her cheekbones. And then for her contour, I'm using an Illamasqua foundation, which is a cream foundation. And this is going to act as a contour shade for her cheekbones, on the sides of her nose, the jawline, forehead, and also around her chin. I'm also taking a very small amount of the contour just in the center of the Cupid's bow above her lips, and then again buffing everything away with the beauty blender sponge to ensure that there are no harsh edges. And here you'll see me struggling to blend out the concealer that we had for reverse contouring, so it might be a good idea to blend it out as soon as you apply it, because these concealers really set soon on the skin, so it's a good idea to just do it when you apply it. So here I'm using the Wayne Goss brush. Yes, we love it. And I'm using the Nye Banana Powder just on the areas where we had the reverse contouring, so the highlighting under the cheekbones, some on the center of her nose, the forehead, everywhere basically we highlighted. Next, moving on to the eyes, I'm first using Satin Taupe by MAC and applying this all over her mobile portion of the eyelid. For a subtle accent of blue, because her clothes had a lot of blue, so I used the navy shade from the Lorac Pro Palette 2 and applying this very close to the lash line, almost as an eyeliner. But using a powder creates a much more softer and diffuse look. Next, I'm using Makeup Geek's eyeshadow in the shade Cocoa Bear, which is this nice, rich, warm brown. I'm applying this in the crease, mostly to warm up this look since we're going to use a lot of cooler shades on her lid. And then again, just really blending everything out so there are no harsh edges. Next, as a transition shade, I'm using MAC's eyeshadow in the shade Saddle, which is a brown which is slightly lighter than the one we used previously. So this will act as a transition going from the crease towards the brow bone. Now to deepen up her crease, I'm using the MAC eyeshadow. I think this was a limited edition, I'm not sure, so sorry about that. But it's a deep matte brown on the cooler side. It's the shade Cross Cultural. I'm just applying this to the crease and again blending it with the previous eyeshadows we've applied. And then taking the black eyeshadow by MAC called Carbon. It's not really a black eyeshadow, which I really like because it's easy to buff out. It's almost a dark gray shade. So I'm just taking this on the outer V of her eye, joining it with the blue we had earlier. Again, buffing everything out to create a smoother transition between the shades. And here, because I'd lost some of the blue from all the blending, I'm just going back and adding some more so that you have some peak of blue at the lash line. Next, I'm using the Bobbi Brown Kohl Cake Liner in black and applying this mostly to tight line, so applying a very thin amount close to her lash line. Then I'm using my favorite eyeliner, which is the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner, going over her waterline and also slightly under her bottom eyelid and buffing it out to act as a base. Then Yeka was really concerned that I was using pigment. So here I'm using the Pigment Tan by MAC and just applying it over the Satin Taupe eyeshadow that we had. So as you can see, that really brings out the center of her eyelids. Again, buffing to ensure that there are no harsh edges. And I don't know what happened here. And then I'm using another pigment, Vanilla by MAC, which is like this white shimmery pigment. Taking a very small amount though and applying this just to the inner corner of her eyes because her eyes are slightly close together, so this will kind of open up and keep them more, not keep them, but will make an appearance that they're slightly more further apart. For highlighting under the brows, I'm using Makeup Geek eyeshadow called Creme Brule, just close to her skin tone I think. Then just filling in her brows with the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Ebony and then brushing them through to make sure that it's a soft finish, not something too harsh. And then I just had Yeka put on her mascara because her eyes really do a dance of their own and tend to water if there's any other hands around the eye. So she did her mascara and here she is nervous and excited about false lashes. So we applied a pair of the Ardell Demi Wispies. And then to cover the glue, although it's transparent, I really like to cover it. So again, went back with the Bobbi Brown Kohl Cake Liner. And she was busy Snapchatting. And then here I'm just buffing away the powder that we had under the contouring. So it creates a very subtle highlight. And then going in with the MARC Jacobs glow stick and applying this to the highest points of her face, so her cheekbones, slightly onto the center of the bridge, the tip of her nose, her cupid's bow, and then some on her chin, and then also above the highest point of her brows. And as you can see, this shade seems to be very universal, so it can be used across different skin tones, which I absolutely love. It creates this very nice, subtle, dewy but highlighted finish and doesn't look too crazy and stark. For Yeka's lips, I'm using MAC lip liner in the shade Beat and I'm applying this all over her lips and filling them in with it. And then just to act as a pop of color in the center, I'm going in with the shade All Fired Up, which is this bright fuchsia shade, applying it to the center of her lips. Again, blending with the bead eyeliner, not eyeliner, lip liner. And then just doing some spot concealing here, though she doesn't need much. And then going in with the blush, so it's a pink blush which went in with the rest of the makeup that we had going on. And then we set everything in place with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, although I don't know if this shade is really translucent because I do see some ashiness on Yeka's skin when I applied this powder. I also see that on my skin tone, but it's not too apparent. So you might want to change the powder here. But then I'm setting everything in place with the Skindinavia setting spray and just using the beauty blender to mesh everything so there are no harsh edges again. And that's it. And that's the finished look, guys. I really hope you like it. And let me know in the comment section if you try it and if you like this look. Again, thank you so much for watching. Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you again soon. Bye!